you've seen my previous video, you've probably seen the rear view angle when I mount the camera on the back, and the indicators on both sides, they kind of flap around at high speeds and everything and don't stay still. So I've always wanted to get the LED indicators on the back anyway. I've seen the R&G ones, R&G Racing ones, which I liked. They're like a few minutes away from me, so I phoned them up and I'll just pick them up myself and try to put them on tonight just to see what it looks like. Hopefully there's going to be less flappage, if you know what I mean. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jeez, old people. Oh, picking up some LED indicators, yeah, okay. Got the indicators, got the, don't remember what you call them, transistors or whatever. I was about to leave, and then I realized the indicators might look funny on the bike. Basically, there's a backing plate for the indicator to cover the hole that's left once you take the original ones off. And I didn't know whether you need them or not, so I went back in, asked the guys. They were really helpful. I got here a bit late, they should have shut, so they stayed open, helped me out. I think I've tried 6 different types before we could decide which one's the right one for this bike. I'll start setting it up and I'll give you all the codes and everything else that you need to buy if you wanna get the same ones. They're gonna look a lot neater on the bike once they're on. Indicators. What's the port number? I can't see the port number. Anyway, I'll probably link the port number in the description. Then you've got the resistors, okay. And also, if you buy them, be careful you buy the correct spacers. Which is this one. That's the code for it. IAS 0009BK. It says it fits a Yamaha R6 2003 or an R1 from 2002 onwards, but I don't know. We checked them, these should fit. If they don't, well, I'm screwed. But anyway, that's it. Okay, so to install this you need some scissors. Then we're gonna use some masking tape, electrical tape, a screwdriver, the smallest one you can find, some pliers. Obviously the resistors, they're gonna go on the indicator. And then the indicator itself. This attaches to the resistor and the resistor will then attach to the wires itself. I'm going to use 1 spacer instead of 2, and I'm going to use the old bracket from the current indicator on the back. So step 1 is you need to undo the screw, use the screwdriver that you have, and once you take the screw out, have a good look inside because you're going to see the back bracket, and also have a look at how the cables feed into the bike underneath the seat. Because once you pull them out, that's the same way it will feed out the current cables. So there you've got the bracket, which we're going to take off, and you can see the cable going inside the bike. So I'm going to unclip this and try to pull the indicator off. Remember, once the bracket comes off, you'll need to keep it, because that's what we're going to use in the same position. We'll go inside and we'll hold the new indicator, the LED. The new bracket will go on the outside, the old one goes on the inside. You can also see how the cable feeds inside the bike. Remember how that goes, because we'll do the same with the LED. And that's about it. Let's move on to the next one. Once you pull the seat off, you'll notice that the cables fit into this small pocket here on this side. It's a Velcro tab, just undo it, open them up. Black one and grey one, one's left, one's right. Try to unplug them. If you can't by hand, just use a screwdriver. I need to manage to do it by hand. You'll notice that the OEM plug at the end of this indicator is not the same as the R&G one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one off and attach it to the R&G resistor, because otherwise you won't be able to attach the resistor to the wiring. So now that the indicators have been disconnected, what you're going to do is you're going to try to pull these cables out. So I'm going to pull the indicator out. So this is one end. This is going to be the back left one. And once it's all loosened up, your indicator's loosened up as well. So all you need to do is just start pulling on it, just like that. Again, check how the cable feeds into the bike, because that's the same way we're going to go in with the LED. Once you get to the end of it, just wiggle it a bit and it'll pop straight out. And then we're going to have a look at the indicator. So the indicator's out. You're going to keep the back plate, this one, and then we're going to keep the plug as well, the OEM plug, which is the gray one. I'm going to try to cut it. Now when you cut it, try to give yourself as much cable as you can, because you're going to need to attach this bit to the R&G resistor. Let's try to do that. So as soon as I cut this off, I'll try to take some of the rubber off just to show the metal cable, the metal bit. I'm going to attach that to the resistor. So the OEM connector, you're going to notice I've got one side which is brown, one which is black. The brown one will probably go with the yellow one and the black one will go with the black one. So on the resistor you're going to notice one side is black, one side is yellow. I don't know why they're always different colors, but whenever you see a black cable, just attach it to the black one, and whatever color the other one is, just attach it to that one. And it's just that simple. Again, just make sure you're not going to snip off the metal bit, just the rubber bit. So once we finish doing that, you're going to notice on the resistor it has two ends, a thick one and a thin one. So these two will go on the thin side, so black goes with black, brown goes with yellow. Pop the ends in, make sure that the metal bit of the cable touches with the metal on the other side, so that the cable is connected properly. So try to go in as deep as possible on that side. Yeah. And yeah, try to make sure that the metal sides connect. Take the pliers, squash it down properly, just to make sure that the cable doesn't slip out and it's held down properly. So not the nicest job out there, but it should do the trick anyway. So once you finish doing this one, you can then slip this plastic bit on, just to make sure the black wire doesn't touch the other wire, the brown wire. There's no short circuit. Okay, and then you do the same with the yellow and brown one, and you're all done. You can slip it into the bike now. So the next step are the indicators. Make sure you get the plate, the spacer that you bought. Slide the cables through. You can put it on whichever side you want, so with the bump on the outside, with the bump on the inside. I've put it in with the bump on the inside. It's just because I prefer it like that, but again, you can slide it in whichever way you want. So that's that. Then this bit will need to go through the space where the previous indicator was. Make sure that that small hole right there is facing downwards whenever you mount it on the bike. So if there's any water that goes inside, it can fall right out. So I'm going to grab the end of the cable, fit it through this hole where the old one was, then fit it through the old spacer as well, which is going to go on the inside, and make sure that all the cables go into the bike just the same way that the old ones did. So then you put the screw on, and that's about it. So I've plugged the resistors in, so there you go. They've attached to the OEM plug, plug them all in. At the end of the resistors I've plugged in the indicators that I fitted through the back of the bike. Right here, you've got left and right. And let's test them, see if they work. Before you do them all up, make sure you test them and make sure that they do work. So the back left is working perfectly, that's all done. Back right is working well as well. And let's just have a look how I've also fitted these on. So again, make sure that the hole on the indicator is facing downwards. The spacer goes on the outside. Inner bracket, the old one goes on the inside, you can see it here. And then all you need to do is just put the screw on and make sure it's tight. Same thing on the other side. So again, you've got indicator, spacer on the outside, all bracket on the inside, this one, and then the screw is tight as well, so it doesn't move when you're riding. Nothing else. All done. So if we have one last look at the cables, you're going to notice a pretty straightforward job. So again, black goes with black, the stripy black goes with the yellow one, same on both sides. These will then connect to the resistors. The resistors with the OEM plug at the end will then connect to the cabling on the bike. This we're going to put the Velcro pocket on. I would recommend you also put some electric tape, some masking tape on this, just to make sure there's no water damage or no water goes inside there. Nothing else. Tuck it in properly, then hide the main cables back into the Velcro pocket and make sure you put the seat on. So again, the Velcro pocket is on. I'm going to try, it's going to be really a really snug fit once you've added the resistors and everything else. So you're going to need to make sure that it sits in there perfectly and it doesn't move. Once you've done that, you can put the chair back on and you're basically good to go. So the chair is back on. I've screwed this back on as well, just to make sure there's no dirt or water that goes in on both sides. Tested the indicators, and honestly the only other thing that's left to do is just take it out for a ride and see how it fares in comparison to the old ones. I think it looks a lot neater, a lot better, much smaller factor, and it's not going to wobble. Much better.